Very good morning, welcome to Jeff Laughton Online, Saturday the 18th of October, and it's Champions Day at Ascot and some unbelievable racing today. It's been a quiet week for the last week, that's why you've not seen much of me. It wasn't great racing, and I also went over to Tenerife for 5 days to get a bit of sun. It's still about 27 degrees over there in the day and about 22 at night, so it does make a big change from the dreary grey skies that we have to endure here at this time of year. And next week, of course, the clocks go back and it'll be getting dark at 4 o'clock. So I think my plan is to go and rent a nice villa over in Tenerife and spend the month of November working from over there. But for today, I'm back in the office. I'm going to go through the card at Ascot for you. If you're stopping by for the first time, you're very welcome. My name is Jeff Laughton and I've been a professional gambler for almost 35 years. This is not a tipping channel. It is more of an educational one, just to get you to look at racing a little bit different. Having said that, as far as today's concerned, I'm just going to go through the Ascot card, so I'm nothing educational about it. I'm just going to go through the races for you. There are 2 bets up on the private service today that are both very, very strong. In fact, the last 2 days we've had 4 winners from 5 selections, and if you're interested, drop me a line at the email address below, jefflaughtonmanagement@gmail.com. And if you haven't yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button below, especially at this time of year when I don't put too many videos up, and you'll be notified by YouTube when I do one. Okay, let's start at the 12:55, a very early start today. This should be fairly straightforward for Trollerman. The way he won the Ascot Gold Cup here back in June was a devastating performance. He then went on to beat Sweet William in the Lonsdale Cup at York at the Eber meeting, and he was giving him £3 that day. And they run off the same weights today, and I see no reason why that one should turn the form round. I absolutely love one in this race, Al Kareem of Carl Burks. He must be the toughest horse in training, never knows when he's beaten, but I do feel this is a step too far for him today, and I do expect Trollerman to win this comfortably. In the 130 division, he's improving quickly and has won his last 3 races, including the Rockingham Stakes at York, which is a listed race, where he stayed on doggedly at the end. Gosnans tell me that they like Siren Suit, but that one only won a maiden at Kempton, and whilst he's improved plenty at home, this might be just too much too soon for him. The Charlie Appleby horse, Words of Truth, is favourite here, although he has drifted markedly on the exchanges this morning. He's won his last 3 races, and his performance in the Group 2 Mill Reef Stakes was really impressive. He allowed the leader to get first run that day and go 3 clear before Buick even asked him a question, and his finishing run was impressive to say the least. I know they rate him almost on a par with Wise Approach, who won the Group 1 Middle Park Stakes, and I think he should be too good for these today. In the 205, this is the Group 1 Sprint, and although the French horse Lazat has some very good form, especially when he won the QE2 Stakes or the Jubilee Stakes at Ascot in June, but I really think this is a tough race to try and solve, and I won't be getting involved. In the 245, the Group 1 Fillies and Mare Stakes, Ward Art of Owen Burrows is on an upward trajectory after winning his last 2 races at Goodwood. They were listed and then a Group 2 race, but I'm not convinced it was a very strong Group 2, and she did get plenty of weight. A Stranger's looked a very smart filly and was set to run in the Arc, but scoped badly beforehand and missed the race. She worked really well this week, but her run style, drawn in 1, may not be a big help. Kalpana did run in the Arc and finished 7th, but that doesn't really give a true reflection, because she was kept about 6 wide throughout the race, and she's better than that. Now, she won this race last year, quite comfortably in fact, and I'm told she's fit and well after a French run. That was only 13 days ago, and if there is a chink in her armour, it would be that this is a quick backup. But if she turns up in the form that they expect, she could be tough to beat. In the 325, this is another Group 1 race, the QE2, the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes, in which the English and Irish 2,000 guineas winner Field of Gold returns after being underwhelming in the Sussex Stakes at Glorious Goodwood. Now, they tried to justify that run, saying that he came back lame, and it was obvious that he didn't particularly like the track. But do I want to back him? I don't think so, and I think it's a race I'll be watching without a financial interest. In the 405, I think we've I think there's 3 to concentrate on at the head of market. Delacroix managed to somehow beat Ombudsman in the Coral Eclipse in July before Ombudsman turned the tables in the Juddmonte International at York. Because of the weight for age scale, Delacroix got £7 that day, but now only receives £4, and I don't think he'll beat Ombudsman today. The French raider Calandagan has won his last 2 races, which were both Group 1s, but I still have in my mind, probably because of the financial implication I had that day, he's running the Coronation Stakes at Epsom when he wouldn't go past Jan Bruegel. He obviously hasn't done anything wrong since then, and he could be a tough opponent. So we come to Ombudsman, who was a very smart 2-year-old last year, but because of an injury, we didn't see him until the Brigadier Gerard Stakes at the end of May, when he was just beaten by Almacan. His next performance in the Prince of Wales Stakes at Royal Ascot was really impressive. His path was blocked at least 3 or 4 times, and that would have put many horses off. But when he eventually got a clear turn of foot, it was electric. So when he got a clear run, I should say, his turn of foot was electric. And it was there to see in the Coral Eclipse when he shot 3 clear and probably stopped because he went too soon, rather than him being beaten by a better horse in Delacroix. You may remember his last run in the Group 1 Juddmonte International at York as well, when the French horse, also owned by Godolphin, and there as a pacemaker, went 25 lengths clear. With 3 to run, Buick had 15 lengths to find, but at least he did have something to aim at, and his turn of foot that day was devastating. Again, Godolphin have put a pacemaker in this race, and he should be too good for these. In the 440, this is the only handicap on the card, and it's also one of my favourite races. This is the Balmoral handicap. Now, I always find it strange that on the straight track, especially in big fields, they always race down the near side rail. But because at this time of year, with the sun the way it is, the near side rail is in the shade because of the huge stands. So they always run this race for some reason down the far rail, and it's usually very tight and compact, and there always seems to be plenty of hard luck stories in this race. Shout was impressive last time, but for me he's a much better horse on soft ground, and the handicapper put him up £9 for that win. Native Warrior has won his last 2 races here, but they were over 7 furlongs, and both times he was ridden by Jamie Spencer, who for me is by far the best jockey in the country on this straight track. He reads the pace so well. Now, I'm not saying he's a better jockey than James Doyle, but I think he's better than anybody on the straight track. And the horse now steps back up to a mile, and whilst he shouldn't have a problem with a mile, I do think that 7 furlongs at this track suits him really well. I'm told that John Gosden's 5th column has been working well, and they expect him to finish in the 4. But if I was to have an interest at all, it will probably be on Crown of Oaks. The gelding operation seems to have made a man out of him, but he's gone up the weights quite a lot, winning his first handicap in July off a mark of 79, before bolting up at this track last month. He then went to the Curragh off a mark of 93 and finished 3rd. All those runs were over 10 furlong, and today he drops back to a mile, but this is a stiff mile, and they will go apace, so that will help him. Now, he's also drawn in 23, which means that if they do go to the far rail, he's got to come widest of all, using up some valuable energy. The upside to that is he shouldn't endure the traffic problems that a lot of the runners drawn low will do. I'm not saying to get stuck in, but I do think at 6 to 1 it could be worth a small interest. So that's it for today. I'm not going to cover the other meetings. Please make sure that you subscribe if you already haven't done. And if you want to know what my bets are when the videos are not up, then you'll need to drop me a line. I'm obviously working every day, but I see no point putting videos up if there's only 1 or 2 races to cover. So that's it. Many thanks for dropping by, and I'll see you shortly.